Hey, my legal team begged me not to go live.
Man, they must be frustrated with you.
Yeah, they're really frustrated. They sent out a team. They sent out like lawyers and ex-lawyers, and like they got the whole team together, and they just begged me, "Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You'll regret it."
Yep.
Is it the same team that has to deal with Rudolph Giuliani?
I think so. We're live with our one viewer, our dying son.
Our dying son. Jefferson's here.
Oh, Jefferson's where? Where?
In the side chat, he said
Oh,
bright and early.
Hey, Jefferson.
Yeah, it's good to have him. I'd ask him to join, but I think he's at work.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
you know.
And we are on the lookout for Jason Torn.
Yeah, if anybody sees Jason Torn, ask him to contact Speed or just respond to him.
Yeah, yeah. Just quit ignoring me. Quit fucking because, boys and girls, we're going to talk about natural selection again. And we're
Not right now, are we?
No, fuck no.
Willie Ignorant has just joined us.
Yeah. Hi, Willie.
It's a freaking smorgasbord of intelligent life.
Anyway, so you had a video, right?
Yeah, I had a link for you.
Yeah, what do you want to do first? What do you want to do first?
Let's watch the link. Let's watch the link. I was in the side chat of Pine Creek yesterday, and this little pleasantry happened.
Okay, so play it from the timestamp.
Yeah, just play. Yeah, just hit play from the timestamp I sent you.
I can probably do that.
But here's the you selfish people need your pine points. Melody Joy. Yeah, you're the number one selfish person here. You get 10,000 pine points. Lou Core, 5,000 pine points to you. And Scott Duke. Hey, I saw you on camera the other day. Not only do you have the great name, you got a great look. 1,000 pine points to you.
You got pine points?
I got pine points. I was the third person to leave a side side chat note or whatever, and all I did was say, I wonder who that is. You know, the pontificating precept. I thought it was going to be about Darth Dawkins, but it just turned out, I think, to be about presuppositionalism itself. But I guess he must have been looking at Rebecca's channel for stuff to feature. And he caught me one time when I was actually, in the room with other atheists on Bread of Life's channel.
We'll have to negotiate later about your pine points. Okay.
Yeah.
Ash 6, you can see yourself to the door. You're your fourth biggest loser.
So that's all I had to show from that.
Here's the key.
Although it was a 3-hour stream and I couldn't watch the whole thing.
So dismantling the precept Protestant pontificator. So
yeah, I thought it was going to be about Darth Dawkins. Can you understand why?
Is it about bread?
Bread of Life? No.
Yeah. Who is it about? Who is the precept?
Well, those are a bunch of preceptors right there. Behind. Yeah, like Matt Slick. I think one of them is Saitin Bruton, and so it's David.
What?
David is in the side chat.
David? Oh no. So we must have hit the right time slot. Okay, so then and you wanted me to. So what do you want me to do, Scott?
Well, now that was just a pleasantry. My vanity.
Is that what it was? Yeah. Okay. Well,
it has been fulfilled because I've got a good look.
Yeah.
which was a nice thing for Doug to say. Thank you, Doug from Pine Creek. I guess I should have sent him our Answers in Atheism channel link so that he could watch it next time he wants to see some good beard action.
Yeah, so we could get him over here.
Yeah, but at any rate, I wanted to just have you adjust your timeline that we've sort of been working on. This is kind of a loose project in many ways. It's like one morning at 8 a.m. we'll talk about one thing, but then my attention shifts and we'll talk about another thing. And I spent the weekend reading a lot of the work of James D. Tabor, watching his videos as well as reading his pretty great book, The Jesus Dynasty. Now, I say great. It may or may not pass scholarly scrutiny. I don't know, but it's a very good take on first century and actually first century BCE religious writings, I guess we'll say, Hebrew Bible, and then it developing into the themes and the writings of the New Testament. Great stuff. So, plus it's a controversial and kind of not so widely dispersed theory about the nature of Jesus and John the Baptist and Jesus' brother James. So it's a really good book, The Jesus Dynasty. Makes you think. Of course, read it critically, like all things, but it's really been something great to think about. Now, one thing that the Jesus Dynasty and the work of James D. Tabor gets into is the Qumran community, which was the separatist headquarters of a group of very strict men, starting in, and here's the first date I want you to etch out on the timeline, 75 BCE, maybe 100 BCE, most likely 75 BCE, to increase your confidence of kind of when that community started, or at least the Essenes who are behind them started. So 75 BCE. I noticed that Professor Tabor still uses the BC AD schemata.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his book I think was 2010, maybe 2005. But so I'm not sure when people started switching to the BCE CE concept.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then for the upper end of that, because we have to look at a range, we need to go to 100 CE.
100 CE.
Formerly known as 100 AD.
So way out here. Okay, so there you go. So
now make to kind of draw those 2 points together, make a curly brace or something between the two, pointing to the two, because I need you to make a notation.
Oh shit! Hang on a second here. What you got up? Curly brace. Oh, God damn
something. Well, you could like shorten that the green bar right there at whatever.
What is ICE? What did we write? No, I just wrote that down. 1C. Oh, the green bar is 1 AD. Okay.
Yeah, so you might want to shorten the green bar a little bit. That might help accommodate a curly brace. I don't know, but what we want to do, like between the two, a bracket, like the left side of the bracket is the 75 BCE. The right side of the bracket is 100 BCE, and just make one giant curly brace out of that. Is my conception of it. But what we have to take into account the range is kind of what I'm getting of this one idea.
Okay, so
Well, that's not what I had in mind, but that's a good depiction
what
of
the
it.
fuck do you have in mind? Just don't be so critical at 8 a.m. What? Those are curly braces.
Yeah,
What do
those
you
are curly
want?
braces, but see, you're using them as two separate brackets.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to use them as one bracket that the left side points to 75 BCE, and the right side, so it would be a horizontal curly brace, but it would be pointing to a wide range of between 75 BC and 100 AD.
Okay. You see what I just did there on the bottom?
That's it. Now, just below the little pointy thing in the middle of the curly brace, type in Qumran. Qumran, I think. Qumran.
Qumran. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Now, Qumran was a community very close to the Dead Sea. That's why we come up with Dead Sea Scrolls. It's a compound with some outer outside features of communal life, but the main part is this inside structure where only male Essenes, and I don't know if there were any female Essenes, but only males could enter in, and it was only males who have made that commitment to living a strict, separatist, Puritan, kind of life. Only they saw themselves as sanctified or separate from the rest of Israel. And guess what? The rest of Israel was corrupt and dirty, unclean, and they thought that with their commitment to the Torah and to living a holy and righteous life, they would bring about, or they were waiting for, two messiahs, a priestly Messiah after the line of in the line of the priest Aaron, and then a kingly Messiah, a root or a branch of David. So they were a group that they were messianic, they were apocalyptic, because they believed that that God was very soon was going to bring in a holy and righteous reign over Israel, destroy Israel's enemies, and there would be this beautiful time of prosperity and everything.
Isn't that kind of what they're like today? A lot of these fundamentalists, messianic.
Bingo. Yes, exactly. And then they were separatists, like we said, and I can't remember the other word that described them, but you can see that they had a very familiar commitment. Now, what they believed, or what they wrote about in a document called the Community Letter, their kind of manifesto, or the community rule, the rules about how you were going to live your life as a part of this Essene community at the location known as Qumran, is that no, I don't hear you echoing at the moment. But,
okay, let me ask you a question. The community letter, or basically this whole period, the Dead Sea Scrolls were somewhere in there, right?
Yes. Towards the end of the Qumran community, when the Romans were essentially killing everybody and everything, they fled. But before they fled, they put their important documents into clay jars and hid them in a cave very close to the Qumran community, very closely situated. So that's where we get the Dead Sea Scrolls, because once again, all of this is located very close to the Dead Sea itself. So
the context of this period, there were a whole bunch of like upstart rebellious Jewish groups.
Bingo, exactly.
Very much like hippies in the 60s.
You would have a lot of I think there was a lot of Judas, I think. But anyway, like from that period forward to around 100, you had quite a few messianic rebels, who thought, I am the anointed one, otherwise a Messiah. That's all Messiah means, is anointed one.
Right.
And so you had all these people who kind of digested this material one way or another and decided, I'm the anointed one. We're going to set up a kingdom of Israel that will throw out the Roman rule, and God will rule through us. And it's going to be great. It's going to be a theocracy. Hint, hint. America today wants, a lot of people want to be a theocracy, and we're going to rule. Now, that happened for the very same rationale over and over during this broad period of 75 BCE to 100 CE, and it provided what you've been kind of wanting this timeline to do. It provided a sense of the zeitgeist of the feelings and thoughts and moods in the air that brought about the big C, Christianity, which was just another one of those apocalyptic religions. And I looked up the word zeitgeist because we were talking about that before the stream, and it definitely fits the word, the defining spirit or mood of a particular period of history as shown by ideas and beliefs of the time. And this apocalyptic, sometimes separatist type movement is definitely something that defined the zeitgeist of a lot of groups in Israel throughout that time period.
So what is the history of Romans in Israel? So when did they come in? Why did they come in? And when did people start to get upset with them?
Well, anytime somebody comes in and conquers your area, you're going to start to get upset with them, especially if they do things in your temple. I
thought they were invited to stabilize the region or something like that. Or
they defeated the Hashmoneans.
When did
Hashmoneans, which was an earlier Jewish royalty, quote unquote, or dynasty, that we'll say that overthrew the Greek Ptolemaic rulers and brought in like a century of Jewish rule for a while. And then, when did the Romans conquer Israel? Let's see. That would be 63 BCE.
Ooh, so a little bit after that 75 BC.
Yeah, the Roman. Well, see, eventually they set up Herod the Great as the ruler, the king of Israel, so to speak. He was half Jewish, like his mother was Jewish and his dad was something called Idumean. And then he married a lady from the Hashmonean dynasty. So in an effort to legitimate himself and be the legitimate king of the Jews, he wasn't quite accepted that way. And then his sons, after Herod the Great died, wasn't it 70 BCE or CE? You're talking about, I think, our dying son. I think you're just referencing the destruction of the temple in 70 CE, and that's a different event. that's when the Romans had it with having other people, other kings rule over Israel as kind of a vassal king, and they took over direct administration of the area. Destroyed the temple. A few years later, that's when Masada occurred, where they did a siege on a bunch of zealots who eventually committed suicide. But the first incursion of the Romans into the Holy Land was about, according to Professor Google, was 63 BCE.
So, like, what I'm getting at is from like 100 BCE to 100 CE, there was this whole period where, if you could imagine, you're a liberal and Trump is the president during that entire period. There was this unrest and this basically government oppression, and then there was the old Jewish brand, and there were all of these upstart groups. And you made a comparison to Koresh in Waco.
Yeah, because they too looked in the Hebrew Bible, or the Christian Old Testament, and saw all these predictions about coming messiahs who were also known as the branch of David. And David Koresh eventually started applying these to himself, and we know what kind of leader he was. He married a whole lot of his flock, I think. But if memory serves. But at any rate, they too adopted those messianic thoughts and eventually applied them to themselves. They particularized a prophecy that was never really specifically meant for them.
Okay.
But the Qumran community, and there were Essenes, people who believed like those, what they think were just essentially Jewish monks in the Qumran community. There were members of the Essenes all over Galilee and other places. And of course, then there were also nobody's really sure to what degree John the Baptist was an Essene. He was definitely a separatist because he lived out in the desert. He was, from depictions of him, he kind of seems more like a Nazarite, somebody who doesn't drink wine, who grows their hair long and doesn't cut it. And he was kind of this wild-eyed preacher, prophet that was letting people know that the Lord is going to come and wipe out his enemies, and to repent so that you can be part of this and be ready for when the Lord takes over. And of course, he also kind of taught a messianic teaching.
Okay.
Now, James D. Tabor does think that Jesus saw himself as the branch of David, the called out, anointed king of Israel through the Davidic line, and that John the Baptist was some sort of anointed person from the priestly line. And there are parts of the Old Testament that talk about two messiahs, the priestly and the kingly, and the Essenes taught that as well. So once again, you have scriptures, you have expectations, you have individuals who see themselves through the lens of those messianic prophecies, and boom, you have another apocalyptic religion, except this one was adopted by the state eventually. And that's how we ended up getting Christianity, which transformed itself to be more global and inclusive of non-Jews, and here we are today.
Yeah. Here's the book.
Yeah, the Jesus Dynasty, very interesting piece of work. I encourage you to find book reviews that critique it. not because I don't think James D. Tabor is a smart guy, but you never want to really get caught up into one theory without reading some of the criticisms. Like there was one or two places in the book where I thought that he really needed a citation and didn't provide one. But then it's not a scholarly book necessarily. It's a book by a scholar, but it's for the general public. So maybe and these were not the most major of issues, but always read these books with interest, but also with quite a bit of skepticism.
And James Tabor, does he have a channel too?
Yeah, the James Tabor YouTube channel. James Tabor, a lot of videos, the same material presented as lectures to the Biblical Archaeological Society, I think, or they're called bar speeches or bar lectures, and that means Biblical Archaeological Review. So whoever is behind that publication also sponsored a lot of those talks, but he's also been on all sorts of YouTube channels and been interviewed. And every time, a lot of times when he does that, he'll mirror them onto his stream. So that is a real good source of his information as well.
Okay, I'm doing some links to his book for one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now he's also written a book called Why Waco, because he and another scholar initiated talks with members of the Branch Davidian during the siege at Waco, hoping to come to an understanding of who they are and how they think, so that it could better assist the FBI and other agencies in negotiating with them. But in the process, that broke down, and they decided to move in and take over the compound. And we all know what happened from there. But his interest in apocalyptic religions led him to be kind of involved in that. And so he wrote a book called Why Waco, which I haven't read yet. I've got it right down here on the bottom shelf of my desk, but I intend to read it to see what insights he has about apocalyptic religions and how they form today.
I'm trying to find a link to his channel. I do have a link to his channel. Cool. Okay.
But to answer your question and to sum this up, you're wanting this timeline to help understand what led to Jesus. Well, the Essenes and the Qumran community fed or reflected the zeitgeist of that two century period on either side of the changing of the calendar.
Yeah, it's something. I was, try to compare it to my life, contemporary, right? Mm-hmm. The whole, World War II, and we came out of that, and then we had all of us baby boomers were born, and we formed this massive movement, this movement where there was goodness and peace behind it, peace and love generation and all that shit. And then it got distorted. It got all distorted, and it kind of turned into some of the shit that's going on today. But it polarized, to the ultra left and the ultra right, and it really polarized it somehow. But it all came out of an era, of around. We're almost at 100 years now. We're well 60. We're over 50 years since this whole movement happened, and I think that 200 years, basically 100 BCE to 100 CE, there was a similar thing going on that allowed this incredible infection to take hold of the world, over the next 300-400 years. Mm-hmm. And it was an infection, a really bad one that, apparently we haven't been able to shake for 2,000 years.
It's like the monkeypox of thought.
Yeah, monkeypox, Christianity. There you go. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, that's right, folks. There's a new disease to worry about. It's called monkeypox. Run!
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Danny had a bunch of people on his channel yesterday, and I listened to a little bit of it. And one of the guys, I forget what he's called, the apostate or something like that. He was very anti-theist.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting. They were talking about Christianity as basically you've got a bullet in you. Somebody shot you and the bullet's in you. And Danny's analogy was, should I dig the bullet out? Will it kill the patient if I dig the bullet out? Right. So if you take a person's belief down, will the patient die from your treatment? Is it better just to leave the bullet in? And this apostate guy came up with
lead poisoning.
The kind of Christians that you could think of them as being hit by a Nerf ball, not a bullet. They're extremely, I think there's something, I don't know. I choose to believe in it. I'm going to identify as a Christian. I don't really think about it too deeply. That's hit with a Nerf ball instead of a bullet. But anyway, I was kind of amazed by that guy, and I was really interested in hearing more from him. And I haven't been able to track him down yet. Do you know who I'm talking about? Did you watch that yesterday? On the Weenie channel? The Weenie channel is doing really, really good, by the way. He's moving on up.
Do you know if the name of the guy was Apostate Prophet?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So you might look and see if he has a channel. I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah, who the hell is he? The Apostate Prophet. Okay.
I don't know. Ex-Muslim? Atheist?
I don't know. He didn't sound like a believer, but the Apostate Prophet. I'll try to find him. Anyway.
Yeah. To answer your question, no, I don't know his background.
Yeah.
I may have at one time, but I sure don't recall it now.
Apostate Prophet is a YouTube channel. So, and I wonder, questions for Muslim converts. If that might be him. Anyway, I'll link it just for the hell of it, but I think that's him. Cool. But I like the guy. I thought he was pretty cool. So, anyway, what else? What else up, Scott?
Well, I just wanted to that bullet analogy. Remember, if you have a bullet in you, you're leaching lead into your system, aren't you?
Yeah, but you can leave a bullet in, it encapsulates.
Right. Yeah, it's a toxin that over time might hurt you, but the question is what are the immediate pros and cons versus the long range pros and cons?
Yeah, the real problem is when you get a bullet in you and you're bleeding all over everybody's couch and their floor, and that's kind of what a lot of fundies do. I don't know.
And you
stretching an analogy, or stretching.
Let's stretch it again. You may not realize that the bullet that's stuck in you is doing you harm over time.
Yeah,
you just may not realize it because you're not bleeding, you're not in pain. So I'm doing all right.
Well, I wonder if I always look for the possibility of a completely non-dogmatic, non-belief faith. Basically, you get all the belief out, right? You say, okay, you're agnostic about who God is, what God wants, God could be the universe, God could be a little critter up in the sky, whatever. You don't really care. You don't have any beliefs about that. All you know is that you have faith as an organism in the world. And that is the bridge where atheism, naturalism, Buddhism, and Christianity can meet up in the back room, way in the back room, where you don't claim any, bullshit supernatural, this happened, that had to happen. And anytime you start to cling to, this particular supernatural event was real and actually happened in time. If I had been standing there, I would have seen Jesus crawl out of that tomb and shake off the bugs and take a shower. I hope he took a shower.
Jesus? I don't think they had showers then, but he hung out in the rivers baptizing people. or
Okay,
at least
so
his disciples did.
yeah, but after he rose, because I'm really concerned.
Oh,
Yeah, in the tomb for 3 days, I'm hoping that the first thing he did is take a shower.
could
That's-
be.
Yeah. Okay.
Could be the process of the resurrection, like burned away all contaminants.
Yeah, but that would be invoking a miracle, right? We don't want to do that.
A non-miracle resurrection.
Well, it's like the flood, right? Okay, it's like the flood story. They evoke a miracle when the earth was cracked open, but they
Yeah.
don't want to evoke any other miracles after.
No more miracles.
No
Yeah.
more miracles. That's it. We got that one miracle, and we're not going to push the miracle. Maybe they have a limited amount of miracles in their little bag. I don't know.
It's amazing, getting back to this timeline, how a single 200-year span of time in a very specialized location can affect history so much.
Right.
I know that it was Rome that essentially provided the fuel for the fire to burn and burn and burn throughout centuries. But yeah, one little insignificant Qumran community of separatist monk-like Jews, which they really didn't have monks then. It's concluded that the Qumran community was just men, because they, I think, were able to dig up 40 graves of like 111 graves that are located in a cemetery next to Qumran, and they were all men. There was like one or two women, but they think those were later Bedouin women of like 300 years ago that knew there was a cemetery there, and the families just decided to bury them there because it was a cemetery. But it's believed the community was all men, and you really apparently never saw that in Judaism of that day.
So, is Lori Hayes crying here because we didn't send him an invite?
Oh no, I just assumed he was working.
Yeah. We assumed you didn't care for you. I mean, we've sent you invites every fucking other day.
Yeah, let's put a link out there and let them get in here. And
Are you doing it?
Oh yeah, I can do it.
You do it. Anyway, yeah. So, and then the other thing is the Renaissance. Okay, there was the whole Christian thing, and then in a lot of ways, the scientific revolutions, right, that we've had in the last 400 years have led people to look at things more analytically, like this event had to really happen. Whereas 1,000 years ago, they may not have been thinking in such terms to where, we have to scientifically prove that Jesus was resurrected, right? That sort of thing.
Yeah, these things were just assumed to be true to one degree or another.
Yeah. So I think modern times we have this, and certainly in the last 20 years, the creationist movement has tried to basically take over science and claim that science is now proving God,
right,
through evolution and all of that stuff. And that seems to be something that maybe didn't happen 1,000 years ago. It's more misapplying the scientific paradigm to understanding what happened, that sort of thing, to history.
Yeah, I don't think they had apologists 1,000 years ago. I think they had, inquisitors wasn't even 1,000 years ago. They just would torture you till you either converted. I mean, you were nothing. If you probably didn't have the education, most likely, to have doubts. If you had doubts, you were just a serf. Get in that field and pick those beans. I guess among the elite, what they wrote and what they said could get them killed.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was no scientific method either.
Yep.
So, if you want to declare something as credible or even true, there's nothing better than the scientific method to do that. People feel comfortable with it. People rightly so, have a confidence in it. So no wonder the church wants to usurp science as a means of propaganda.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the tobacco companies did.
Well, how about this? What are you doing?
Well,
You have gun.
Corey fucking Hayes, or should I say David? How's it going, sir?
Good, good. I got a fan running. Is that too loud for you? Can you hear it?
You're a little muffled.
Yeah, you're a little muffled. Your sound is kind of shitty.
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
Oh, I've been working. I actually been working the night shift, so
Oh my!
that's why my schedule's all screwed up.
Okay, so
So
you
you're doing this as like an independent contractor, or
Yeah.
why have you got into that night shift situation?
Well, just because it's commercial,
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
yeah. So that's all.
So does that
So
mean
my
you'll be able to start
schedule's-
joining this?
Well, mornings are good for me, because
Okay.
I'm coming off of a night shift. But
Well, we definitely need to include David in our 8 o'clock thingies.
I do have to say, I would like to say anyway, is I am very impressed on your knowledge of, what you guys have been talking about, Scott. Your studies and different things that I've been trying to follow along, and I find it an interesting subject. I think it's pretty interesting, but it's complicated and very difficult subject. So
Yeah, I feel like I'm always underwater, trying to come up for air because there's just so much information out there, and reading through all the material, it's hard to get firm dates because things are always so, what's the word? Provisional? Yeah, provisional. And
right, yep.
so the dates you see on the screen here are pretty much the most firm dates you can get to help you understand what happened and when in Jewish history. How's your little granddaughter, by the way?
She's doing very well, and believe it or not, in 2 weeks she's going with her mother. Believe it or not.
To go live with her?
Yep.
How do you feel about this?
It's going to be a very difficult transition for everybody.
Yeah, I'm wanting to cry, and I'm nowhere near the situation.
Yeah, we don't know how it's gonna, work out as far as, a while back it was, you're never gonna see her again in your life type of thing, because there was some issues, she kind of thought that, kind of blamed it on us as far as like saying, oh, we're keeping my granddaughter from her, which was not the case at all. She was, she did it to herself. It wasn't something that we did. So that was an issue. But now that we're starting to make the transition, she's kind of acting as though she wants to try to keep us, in the, is able to visit and stuff but I think she knows that, of course, Lily's going to have major issues with the transition, so you can just imagine, she's spent her whole life with us, not just,
who is Lily going to be able to tie up with duct tape?
Yeah,
exactly, yeah.
So has she gotten
Hopefully her
over that duct tape phase yet, or is she still duct taping?
Oh yeah. No, she hasn't done that in quite a while. Yeah, she's got over that.
She's moved on to other things like maybe autopsies and.
Oh yeah. She's tried that a few times.
Okay.
Screwdrivers and poking me with screwdrivers and all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah.
What are grandparents for?
Yeah. Oh yeah. To get poked and prodded and
Yeah. Does anybody out in the chat or anywhere know who this tosser is that Emma Thorne was reviewing the other day? This absolute nutcake on the right. Does anybody know who he is or where his channel is? because she
I don't, but I've
won't
seen him
legitimize
before.
him. Yeah,
I've
she
seen
won't
him before,
legitimize
but I
him
don't
by
know. Yeah,
putting a link to his site. I don't think.
yeah.
Isn't his channel Christ Righteous?
Oh yeah, okay, Christ, right? Yeah, but I couldn't find it. All I found is it did the channel didn't come up. Maybe I can try again. But I was just because this guy is about as full of shit as anybody I've ever heard. Here he's pretending. I link this in the description. He's pretending he's an atheist and like, well, I have all this good evidence for the resurrection, but I don't like it. That's the only reason I don't believe in it, because I don't like it. So he's strawmanning atheists, in this remarkably inept way. And the guy wrote a book, and somebody, who is it? Logic, I think, basically did this thing where it's mostly plagiarism, where he's copying.
Oh yeah, it's plagiarism.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm always fascinated with people like this. It's just like, oh my god.
Oh, is that the guy that wrote the book? I see in chat somebody said he wrote a book. Is that the guy?
Yeah,
He wrote a book. Yeah.
Yeah. He's bad. This guy, who's done a bunch of reviews on this. There's been several other people. Who was it? I'm trying to think. Somebody well known.
Logic.
Somebody. Oh, was it him?
Prophet Azad, right?
Yeah. Somebody's done a bunch of. I think there's been multiple people that have done reviews in his book.
Yeah, there was a David John Wellman also that did a lot of reviews of it.
Him too. Yeah. I was just watching earlier this morning the debate last night. Did you guys? I don't know if you caught any of that with Leo and Amy, with Mad Ducks and a girl named Taylor. Yeah, I was on Modern Day Debate last night. I was just watching it earlier before you guys came on.
They had a debate on Modern Day Debate?
Yeah. Is there any scientific evidence for God? Was
God.
The topic. Yeah. It was Leo and Amy and Mad Ducks and a girl named Taylor.
I thought Mad Ducks had died.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't been around.
Okay, I found the channel for you.
You did?
Yeah.
You private chatting that shit?
I am putting it in there for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's
called Christ Righteous Ministries. Yeah. And the title of the book is God Is. But I don't know if it's available anymore due to plagiarism.
He might be in some trouble over this. Interesting. Okay.
Maybe, although 2 days ago he did a God Is book giveaway.
Oh, did you read the chat? Read the last comment. I guess that Taylor is PhD in in biology. I guess wasn't aware of that. Yeah.
And Taylor is a Christian of some sort.
Yeah. She was Mad Duck's partner in the debate last night.
Specializing in microtubules. Pretty cool. Let's see here. What am I doing? Why am I doing it?
Good questions to answer before you get on air.
Yeah, it was a half decent debate. Mad Ducks wasn't terrible like he usually is. I mean, his arguments were terrible, but he wasn't, really
condescending and
not as bad. A little bit, but not as bad as he normally is. So yeah, it was at least that. You remove that and it makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I haven't seen John for a while. I thought maybe he had spun out of control with his Uber or something and crashed into a light pole.
I want to check out his after show, see if there was. Of course, he had an after show.
Oh, he did.
I haven't checked it out yet.
I'm missing this.
I just found it early this morning myself, and I was just checking it out. So I don't know if there's anything interesting on there or not. I just brought brought it up and took a quick look at it, but you guys were on, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. But
Yeah,
we'll
well, last
check it
night
out and see if
was
there's anything good.
I was obsessed with Love, Death, and Robots, and The Man Who Fell to Earth. So I didn't get to YouTube a lot last night.
So I take it The Man Who Fell to Earth is a science fiction movie?
It's a series on
series?
Paramount. It's sort of a reboot of Bowie's classic. And
yeah, I never saw that, but I've heard of that. Yeah,
it's kind of odd. It's different. I don't know.
Different is
wow.
good.
Reading one of the last comments in the chat there says she agrees with Taylor agrees with Antangelo, so I've just completely lost respect for her. She agrees.
Yeah, what the hell?
PhD. Yeah, that's bad.
That's what
PhD?
kills.
Holy shit! Yeah.
It kills me how you. So does she have a PhD in molecular biology or biochemistry or which particular? I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out. Yeah,
see if it matches my theory. But it's amazing.
Rebecca's just showed up. Yep. Hello, Rebecca.
Oh,
good to see you, Rebecca.
Rebecca, we have to talk about Sal Cordova's eukaryotic evolution hangout that you did with him, and you asked very good questions. Because you were pretending to. I won't go any further with that. Anyway, very good questions, Rebecca. And it was kind of fascinating, but we do have to talk about that hangout. So,
was that the one with Sal? I didn't get a chance to check that out. Was that?
Yeah, it was on Brother Life's Evolution channel, and Sal went through he went through his latest problems that he has with the fact of eukaryotes, and he said a bunch of preachery things like they normally do, and people just take it hook, line, and sinker. It's just amazing. Oh, it's just so complicated. It couldn't possibly have evolved. But yeah, we got to talk about that. So, you were pretending to be critical of your own beliefs. That was pretty unfair, Rebecca. I'm sorry, but that was sort of an impression I got. But you did a good job of asking good questions, and it led Sal to elaborate a little bit. Yeah, no preaching. Anyway, what else?
I'm give out as far as.
Here's another comment about Dr. Joel, the Joel guy. I haven't checked those guys out. Like, there's some disagreement with him and Sal, I guess. Or.
Oh, really? Joel Duff?
Yeah, I guess Sal had us. Did you see Sal's stream? I didn't get to watch it, but I saw the title that they had. They did a stream together to reconcile their. I forget how.
No, they didn't. Yeah. They didn't reconcile anything.
Not reconcile, but yeah.
Yeah, Joe. In fact, they didn't argue about anything at all. Actually.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch it, so I wasn't sure. But I just went by the title of the stream. Yeah.
But Dr. Joel Duff has the most incredibly good videos on where he does pretty deep dives into things like blood in fossils, and he goes through the AIG stuff every week. This week in creationism, and he does great science videos. And Sal in Sal's conversation with Rebecca, he was talking about how could the genes have gotten from the mitochondria into the nucleus, and Dr. Joel Duff showed him about 5 or 6 papers where we can observe that happening today, where it happens all the time. And he was basically he does a lot of takedowns.
Is he a Christian or
he is I believe he's a devout Christian. He is very much old Earth,
old Earth, and accepts science, not a creationist.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't seem to reject any part of the scientific story of evolution and stuff. So he might be a what do they call him? An older theist, where you believe that God basically did the Big Bang in such a way that all this happened.
Yeah,
Sort
yeah,
of thing.
basically, yeah. Which
Yeah.
that is definitely a much more reasonable stance to take for sure.
It is.
No question about it. I don't know why these theists can't reconcile that and just do that. I find young Earth is just completely irrational for sure.
Yeah, but if any of you get the urge to watch my channel and waste your time on me and Scott's channel, don't go over to Joel Duff's channel. He's a lot better than we are.
Can't argue.
Yeah, he is really good. He is really good. We're trying.
I'm just here to express myself and to say howdy to a bunch of cool, smart people.
No, your stuff is good, Scott. My stuff is crap. I just can't get it together. And I think part of it is I got to make a decision. If I want to get it together, I have to make a decision to get it together.
Let's get together. Yeah.
Let's get it together. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard though, I mean, really. Yeah. It's not easy.
Well, fuck it. It takes. I mean, you either devote your life to one thing or another, right? And if you want to do really good YouTube content, you got to work at it. But I don't think Joel Duff is so good that I don't even think he works at it that hard. Because I think he does his stuff unscripted, but I'm not entirely sure. And he just explains everything so well. Well, he's a teacher, for one thing. And he is a really good teacher, so he can just sit down and talk about this stuff. And I can't say enough good things about this man. So
yeah,
and his
well, he has a PhD and he's a teacher, so of course,
yeah,
he's going to be pretty good at that, right? I mean,
he is pretty good. Well, if you think PhDs help you, but I'm really questioning that.
Yeah, both of. Well, I mean, it's not, but I think both of the combination of PhD and being a teacher is kind of
what a PhD is you get accepted into a program and then you work your ass off on the very tiniest little microfilament of science, and you do that for 3 years.
Right. Yeah.
By the time you're done, you don't know any more about biology or genetics or anything other than what contributed to that little microfilament. And what it does is it legitimizes you as a good thinker and a person who can go and dig into things, right? So it legitimizes your technique. It does not legitimize what you know.
Yeah, that's a good way of explaining it, and I would have to agree with that. Yeah.
So anyway, what else? You put the link out there, right?
Oh, we want people to hop in.
Yeah,
sure.
when I joined, it was out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We could end it too. We're up to an hour, so haven't done anything on embryos and embryology. I will say that embryos are in danger. Dangerous aborted embryos. There's a lot of aborted embryos. For instance, God aborts 80% of all embryos before anybody knows that you're pregnant. God kills those poor embryos. All those potential lives that could have happened. And every time you fail to have sex or use birth control, you fail to create hundreds of millions of individuals. Think about it.
I know. It's amazing. It's
my son we were talking about what the hell. One of his friends said to him that every time you blow on a dandelion, that fuzz on a dandelion, it's like shooting your sperm all over the world. And another friend came back and said, no, that's not it. It's like shooting babies all over the world because they're already fertilized, right? So when you blow a dandelion, and I suggested it's kind of like blowing up a preschool or a daycare center, and you shoot all those babies into space.
I don't think you want those words passing through.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh.
YouTube's gonna nail me again. But okay, so getting a gigantic fan and setting it up and turning it on and aiming it at a preschool and blowing babies all over into space, and they all land in their own communities and they take hold and they start to reproduce. That's what blowing on a dandelion is like. So I think I've dug myself a pretty big hole here right now. Don't you think?
Yeah, it's a holy
Holy
stream.
hole. A holy hole.
Yeah. So, have I missed anything really interesting? Like anything exciting going on in the young
On
Earth
this channel?
creationist crap?
Oh,
Like,
do tune in. We're waiting for. I think I want to. I want to use Jason Torn as the sounding board, and I want to talk about natural selection again.
He may be tired of talking about natural selection.
He might be, but I'm not sure if he is. He seems to jump into every conversation where it comes up.
boy, he jumps in. You know, I don't know if you'd be surprised or not, but he is. He goes on to a lot of the other social media platforms. I don't know if you're aware of that. Yeah.
I see him all
He
over.
really likes to talk to the Christians. He really, he really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. Anyway, I think we're going to shoot her in the head.
That can get you to
Perhaps
like pull your hair out. You know, I would think. I'm surprised that he enjoys it that much, because it can be, you know, talking to the creationists can be pretty frustrating.
You know, I would really look forward to these 8 o'clock things a lot more, knowing that that David would participate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can definitely join in the morning. I listen in, but you guys are doing your thing. I'm usually listening in and whatever. And yeah, I just been enjoying the subject. But like I said, the subject is pretty complicated, and I don't know. I find it interesting, but I don't really know anything about it. So,
well, you can ask questions, you know, and just as it naturally occurs to you, and that would make it more engaging.
We're trying to home in on like timelines to get to get a sense of when everything happened, right?
Yeah.
And
can you kind of go through this timeline right here, like just kind of point out what, or well, maybe that would be too hard. So where is Christ? Let's say, where is Christ on there? Like,
okay, so we've got
Jesus's resurrection or something, maybe.
Now
exactly
Dr. Tabor thinks Jesus was born about 5 BCE and died in 30 CE.
Okay, so you see the green dot on the diagram, David?
Yes, I do. Yep. So
okay,
is that it right there?
That's basically 1 AD. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I was just curious. Okay. All right.
So between that and that first little pink line is where the whole Jesus thing happened.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, only half of that much. So we have to like
blow
it.
Yep.
And Jesus happened in this little area right here.
Yeah.
So
right there. Yep.
Yeah. So this is the Jesus bracket. Oh, you want me to put a little bracket there, Scott? In a horizontal bracket?
Too many brackets would mess the thing up. So
I do have to say, Scott, when you said link those two things earlier when you were talking, I had it figured out. I knew exactly what you wanted, and it was kind of funny. Speed.
Well, I thought he wanted.
Like,
okay,
you're a computer guy. Like, holy shit, Speed! Come on.
Okay, it's because David. You want to get banned from my channel, David?
I'm listening. Okay. I just thought it was kind of funny. I'm listening.
Okay, David. This is how you do it. You do brackets on your timeline. Everything between is part of the set, right? Okay, it's a mathematical way to do it. You don't do this. Well, this shit right here. Yeah.
I know. I know. But I kind of knew what he was getting at. Yeah. Layman. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Fucking amateurs.
Randolph is in the side chat.
I'm an amateur, so.
Hi, Randolph. Yeah.
Who described him? I think somebody described him as the godfather of atheism.
No, the what the hell was it? There's another word.
CEO.
Well, it's the Canadian. He's the founder of that, right?
No,
Canadian
what was it?
atheism based. Or
Yeah,
that.
before Randolph, everybody believed in God in Canada, and then
Yeah.
boom,
Yep.
Randolph comes along, and now there's atheists. So
Yep. Okay, we're going to shoot her in the head.
I call that the legend of Randolph Richardson.
The legend of Randolph. Hi, Randolph. So I think we're going to do a weather report today. What do you think? Or should we wait till tomorrow? I don't know.
Is today a weather report day?
It's not a weather report day, but I missed yesterday because of my physical. So
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do a makeup weather report. Although
do a
I don't
makeup
have
weather
much to
report.
bring to it.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll get the elusive Jason Thorne.
Yeah.
To stop in.
It would be nice to have him come along. I don't know what we did to drive him away. Is it me? He doesn't like the beard.
Yeah, I think that's it, Scott.
He doesn't like the beard. Although Pine Creek likes the beard. You want to play that video again?
Okay, we're not going to do that. We're not going to. We're not going to stroke your ego anymore this morning. Okay,
Like my beard?
we're just not
Don't
going to
stroke my ego like a beard.
Yeah, we're not going to stroke your ego like a beard. Okay. Are we shooting it in the head, guys?
Let's shoot it in the head.
Let's shoot it in the head. Okay. Goodbye, cruel world.
Goodbye, everybody.